Hello and welcome to our third episode of Pivot with Kindness with myself, Kim Stokes, and my partner in crime.
Petra, Michael.
Well, delighted um, today, and I've got a big smile on my face because today is a little bit different from our first couple of episodes. And the biggest difference that Petra is not dialed in from her home in Ottawa, Canada, but she is in Tanzania in a hometown of Dar es Salaam, if I have pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, it's Dar es Salaam, but you're pretty close.
Dar es Salaam. And we were just talking about this. So I'm here in a cardigan in a chilly London in the UK. And Petra says it's very hot, but like a nice heat. So I really wanted to, I guess, give Petra the stage in a way today. Now that sounds very grandiose, and I'm sure as well Petra would be like, "Oh no," and like, "All right, so," but we. So I guess in both of our businesses, we talk about some really important things, and I guess a lot of what we do and working with others is about supporting them and partnering with them in terms of how, they pivot and align with what's important for them in their lives at that time and with kindness for success, how they can extend themselves kindness. But we've talked in the past about sometimes when it comes to ourselves and sort of walking our talk, it can be a bit challenging. And I am going to, I guess, ask Petra a few questions now to, I guess, bring any of you listening up to speed with why Petra is where she is. And I think, this is going to be a really special episode. So thank you for being here, Petra, and still wanting to record this. So tell us a bit then, what is it that's brought you back to Tanzania?
So just for starters, there will be noise. I'm sitting at the balcony. As you can see, it's like that.
I love it, but how exciting!
So yeah,
This
that's what I'm doing.
international episode.
So yeah, I'm like sitting here. There'll be so much noise.
We can cope.
Um,
We can turn the
yeah,
volume up.
yeah, but essentially, I'm in Dar es Salaam right now, sitting at my sister's balcony. I woke up at my brother's place this morning. We had hoped to record there, but then we pivoted to coming to my sister because I miss my little niece, Brielle. So I wanted to come and see her because she likes me. So I was like, you know what? We can all just go there. We do the recording. I play with Brielle, and then we go out. So, well, in Tanzania. So I'm in Tanzania. I'm in Dar es Salaam. This is my motherland. This is the city where I went to university in. So I went to the University of Dar es Salaam. And currently, two of my siblings are here, and my mom is also here with my dad. And so essentially, why did I come to Dar? My mom has not been feeling well. And when you live abroad, very far away from family, sometimes it's very difficult to understand. Like, for example, if they tell you, oh, your mom is not feeling well, we went to the hospital, we did the test, we came back, like, it becomes a little bit very difficult to understand because you are not there to go to the visits or to like even understand the reality of what's going on. And so just one day I was in my office and I remember like maybe a month ago, and I was just not able to like keep working and doing everything that I'm doing on the daily because it was getting to me. And I said, well, I know that like in Ottawa we don't have help. It's just me and our kids and my husband. And I was like trying to see like if we were to come, we would need to be like all of us, like the four of us. And I wondered about the logistics of that, taking the kids out of school, my husband out of work, and just like getting all of that organized was like not making sense. But one afternoon, my husband came back from work and he was like, I think you need to go. I'm like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, I think you just need to go by yourself and spend some quality time, and then all else will be okay. So from there on, it was a lot of mental marathon. I was like, okay, going by myself. Easter is around the corner. My daughter's birthday is coming up. I do have work to do. How am I? And at work also we had issues because there were people who were already like they already booked their vacations. So essentially we were literally maybe two, like myself and my manager and another person who was helping us. So we were literally stretched at work as well. So I debated, okay, so how do I even ask for time away in these circumstances? But at the same time, it's important for me because it was just like, I can't continue to work like this. I need to leave. So we navigated all the work permissions, and then I worked with my husband to figure out how to organize everything at home. And he assured me like, you'll be fine, like everything will be fine, just go. And yeah, I took the ticket, and before I left, I think I left a message on LinkedIn saying like, I'll be disconnected because this is an important pivot for me. It's a very personal pivot. And so yeah, I came here on I landed in Tanzania. I left on the 16th. I went through Paris and then Nairobi and then Dar es Salaam. So I landed on Good Friday. And yeah, so that's what it's all about. And my parents didn't know I was going, so it was like such a very big thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow, they didn't know. So you just surprised them.
Yeah, so my sister just picked me up from the airport, and then we just went to her apartment to change, and then we just showed up, and my mom was like, oh my god, I'm feeling like I'm healed just by showing up.
Oh, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So many. Oh, and I can see yeah, that's emotional. Thank you for sharing that with us, Petra. And, to reiterate, Petra is so Petra and I only met on LinkedIn, didn't we, a few months ago? And then we had this idea, and I just feel honored and privileged that I'm having this conversation now, and that you yeah, you had let me know what was happening. And I just think that, this is what life is about, isn't it? And I think, yes, we have, responsibilities to, obviously our families always come first, but when we have businesses and when we have our own thing, it can almost become even harder to remember that, even though we know deep down, and actually what we're supporting others with is around, the importance of pivoting, on the importance of kindness. And actually that's why it's so special that we could have easily, and I'd said, Hannah, well, let's, we won't think about pivot with kindness. It will be there to pick back up when the timing is right. And you said, well, do you know what, actually it would be, I would love to do one from, Dar es Salaam. And I think how beautiful and how honest, and you truly have and are walking your talk. um and hats off. Well, I don't have a hat on, you do, but if I had a hat on right now, I would take it off to you. um can you still hear me, Petra? Because you have frozen on my screen. Um, I don't know if you can still hear me. Oh, hopefully she'll come back in a minute. But while we're waiting for that connection to work through, what a beautiful example of walking our talk. And it certainly made me rethink some of my day-to-day decisions and times where I have not perhaps walked my talk. Um, Petra, I see you put your camera off. I imagine because of the connection. Can you hear me? I don't know if you're saying anything because I see that you're on mute. Um, but this is the when we're recording between London and Tanzania. I mean, amazing that we can just jump on a Zoom and do this. Don't you think? Right, let's just pop a little comment in. I can't see or hear you. Can you or me? So while we're waiting on Petra coming back, she mentioned about the um, disconnecting from socials and from we had a little chat just in the lead up, and she said as well, from email, from everything, and actually what that has given her is real presence. So as she's already mentioned, her parents are there. There was a very special celebration actually a few days ago. I'll let Petra share. Her sister's there with her children, her brother's there. And what how amazing to be able to be fully present, at that time with those family members. And I just think, yeah, what a brilliant example Petra has shared with us there in terms of pivoting and aligning with what's important. Um, Now Petra has nipped off. I think she'll probably rejoin. So I might just pause this recording because I could go on and on talking, but I've got lots of questions that I want to ask Petra. So we shall see you again shortly.
It's okay.
Okay, we have resumed. We
Yes.
pivoted.
Yeah, we did. There was an issue, I think, with the modem that we're using. I didn't plug it in, and this is like a good demonstration of the difference. Sometimes I feel like when we live in Western countries, everything is like so smooth, like like the internet is running all the time, the electricity is on all the time, so we don't really experience any like disruption, I think, when it comes to things like that.
Yeah,
But when you come, like whenever I come home, there are those moments that reminds me that we are incredibly blessed. For example, like in Canada, I don't think I experienced that much like of a problem when it comes to connecting to a meeting. It's very rare that I will have issues, but I mean that's the thing, right? We have running water all the time in Canada, hot and cold. And I think if we're not careful, we can become a little bit too entitled because we don't have to struggle for anything. Like everything we want is like a flip of the button, and there we have it. So yeah,
yes, exactly. Another life lesson you're sharing with us there, Petra. But no, but you're so right. We just expect we'll get up in the morning, we'll have a hot shower, we'll, pour a nice glass of water from the tap, we'll, yeah, do all of those things. So well, we are back, and I was sorry, I'm just checking it is back recording. Uh, Pause record. Yes, it is. Sorry. Okay, so you are such a champion of pivoting, and obviously you've got pivot with Petra. And also as we just heard, you have done a huge pivot recently to go back to Tanzania to see your mom, to disconnect totally from socials, all of those sorts of things. So yeah, tell us a little bit more, I guess, about the experience that you've had since arriving in
Yeah,
Tanzania. And I mentioned actually just before hitting pause that I didn't reveal what, but I said there'd been a special family occasion the last a few days back. So
yeah,
yeah, we'd love to
yes.
hear.
So well, like I think that my experience since I landed here has been a mix of different things, but I would say like essentially little pivots every day. Um, in terms of getting back to my roots, reconnecting with long-term friends, family, spending quality time with my mom, my sisters. My brother just came to town, so I spent some time yesterday with my nephew and nieces. Um, my other brother came, so on the weekend, big occasion. My parents were celebrating their 50th anniversary, wedding anniversary. And so we gathered together as family and we had such a big moment there. So all I can say is Tanzania is a beautiful country. It's filled with so much kindness and generosity everywhere you go. Like friends that I haven't seen since 1999 that we went to school together in primary school, they showed up and we met. Actually, we met at the school where we went when I went to the village, and we had a good time. And so it's been a blessing. I am filled with so much gratitude to be here and to just really embrace all the beauty that Tanzania has to offer in a more specific way. I would say, like, when I think about like pivoting through trying times and when the rubber hit the road, I think about, for example, even like planning the anniversary for my parents. Um, my parents are Christians, and so therefore they wanted to have a ceremony at church, which is normally like 2 hours. And then, of course, we love people. My dad loves people. We come from a very big family. My own family is like 7 kids, so plus my parents is like 9. We lost one of us, but we're now 8. So I mean that itself, plus all most of all the kids have their own kids. So I can count, 30 easily. Just my parents, their kids, and their grandkids. Of course, my kids couldn't come, but most of the other grandkids were here. Plus, my dad has his relatives with their kids and grandkids and great grandkids, so plus the neighbors and all of this. It was like a huge congregation of people that my parents wanted to have at this half century celebration of their marriage.
Mm,
And I am big on logistics, so I was preoccupied by logistical things. For example, how will my mom manage the 2 hour church thing plus 5 or 6 other hours of celebration afterwards,
mm, mm,
and trying to discuss these things with people. Some people would understand, but maybe others wouldn't as much.
mhm,
And so pivoting through those discussions and negotiations and trying to figure out the right way to do it, finally we were able to land at a decision to still maintain the ceremony at church because it's very important for my parents, and then take a break in between the church and the ceremony. And so we took a room at the hotel where the ceremony was happening, like the party, the after party. And so my mom could rest in the hotel. and then like we will be celebrating at the hall in the hotel,
Yeah.
which made it so easy. If anything happens, we know that, we can just bring my mom back to the room
Yeah.
and take care of business and then like go back and forth. So that calmed my nerves a little bit because I was like, they're not young anymore. I don't think they can
Yes.
manage like 9 hours of like fun and like
Yeah.
celebration and loud music and all of that. But it turned out, that everything was so beautiful. The church ceremony was amazing, and the afternoon party, which ended up starting later, I think around 4 or 5 o'clock, was very beautiful. They were so happy to be surrounded by all these people. And as I said, like my dad loves people. I think I take after my dad. So it was really beautiful. I feel grateful to have been able to partake in
Mm.
the planning and in the actual celebrations, and just to be here. So it's been a lot of
Mm.
pivots emotionally, mentally,
Mm. Mm.
and physically, but I'm really grateful. Like I'm really filled with gratitude to be here.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you can visibly, sort of see that and, hear it in the words that you're saying, Petra, but also see it. And as you say, how special to be there for that huge occasion. And also great example of adapting and pivoting to yes, your mum hadn't been well, so it could have been, oh no, we can't do big celebration. Maybe we'll just have a few people to the house, but you knew the church bit was super important. So actually, a great way of showing sort of that almost flex and adaptability. So I had a question, if I may, Petra, around how then, obviously with this pivot and all of the great things that have come, um, I imagine, myself as a mother too, um, that I guess the more the more challenging side of it is obviously your husband and your children are in Canada. You mentioned that it's your daughter's birthday coming up. So how I guess how have you navigated that side of the pivot?
Yeah, that's really interesting because I love parties. Like I'm the life of the party. I love planning little celebrations, like if it's a birthday party or anything. I enjoy just putting things together. I enjoy hosting, and somehow I think my daughter like picked it up. Like she understood that the role that I play when it comes to party organizing cannot be replaced. So we had an actual emotional conversation about what that would mean for her. And so before I left, I took both of them out of school for a day, and we spent the day just doing what they felt like they wanted to do. We went to an escape room, to the Museum of Nature, to like buying like ice cream, whatever, like just to spend the time with them in a very unstructured way, to try and hear out their emotions, to understand what is it that they're feeling, and then to try not to tone it down, but to validate what they were going through. And so, yeah, one of the things that came up was with my daughter. She mentioned that she doesn't really know how it's going to happen, because we always go for dinner, and this time around I won't be there for the birthday dinner, like the day of the actual birthday. And then of course she also mentioned she literally went to write in her journal after like we gave the announcement that I will be leaving. She wrote like 2 pages about her birthday and me not being there and what that means. And I asked her if she has taken the time to process it, and she said, "Well, yeah, I wrote it in my journal. I asked for permission if I can read it, and she said yes." And I looked at it, and that's why I picked up like the most kind of fundamental thing for her was my absence during her 12th birthday. And she wrote Like, I only turned 12 once. You're not gonna be here. Who is gonna like do all these things? And I told her, look, this is kind of learning about life for her and for me, because me being away means that in life we don't get everything we need. Like sometimes, when you apply for a job, for example, you get a no, you feel bad because that's not what you hoped for. So it was a teachable moment for both of us. Like we didn't take away like how it feels,
Mm,
but we used it as an opportunity to discuss life events and how, for
mm,
example, we don't necessarily get what we want or what we wish for, and learning how to adapt, for me to learn how to be away, and for her to learn how to celebrate that big occasion for her without me in that, in the present environment where she will be. So I right now I feel good about it. I think it was hard earlier, like when we discussed it, but at the moment I'm looking back and I'm saying, you're 12, you're preteen, you're going to grow up into a woman, and an adult, and you're going to navigate more things, and probably this will
yeah.
be one thing you can look back to and say, well, yeah, this is just part of life. Things happen.
Mm,
Um and just to wrap up the whole thing, because I feel like I'm rambling, is like when we had that conversation with the both of them about my departure, they both said if it was you would come.
oh, oh, that's so beautiful. Petra, I think we begin to wrap up because this is clearly, it's very emotional. I feel like I say, just very grateful that you have, taken the time to, for us to have this conversation. For those listening, I know it will touch them deeply as it has me. And also how special, clearly like the relationship you have with your children, like them, the young age they are to be like, yeah, I get it. We would come, you know. So I think that's a moment to be proud of. So let's finish on a high. So what do you have planned? So I'm 11 o'clock in the UK. So you're about, is it 1 o'clock in the afternoon for you?
uh Good question. Yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock.
So what have you got on the agenda for the rest of the day?
That's a really good question. I have to meet. So I'm going back to the University of Dar es Salaam where I went.
Okay, wait. Yeah.
There's one prof that I'm going to meet with her just to see, like maybe grab an ice cream. I cannot say a coffee because it's too hot. Or maybe if there's like
Iced coffee, maybe.
iced coffee. Meet with one of my friends that we went to uni with. So essentially, because I love people and I don't have a lot of time, but I would like to meet as many people as possible, I try to locate myself in a spot, and then
Mm.
I tell
Love you.
people like, "Hey, I'm here," and then some people show up. So right now I
Yeah.
have my friend, the prof, another friend that came to Carlton recently, but she's returned back to Tanzania, and then another friend, like my neighbors or like kind of family friends mom, who is gonna drop something that I will be bringing back to Ottawa. So those four people, and then I would go back to my mom's place tonight to sleep over, because tomorrow I wanna bring them to breakfast. So we're gonna see, like maybe we go out for like a really good breakfast with just with my mom and my dad. And it looks like, I have been here for almost 3 weeks, and so I'm starting to think about going back, like, planning about, okay,
Yes.
putting my bag
Packing.
together and packing things and whatnot. And so, like, I'm torn between actually prepping for going back and enjoying the moments here.
Mm.
So
Mm.
As much as I like to pack everything and have all the ducks on the road and have everything together, like I'm actually choosing to not ignore it, but like capitalize on meeting the people and creating those moments that are really important that will become like unforgettable memories during the afternoon hours. So like go see friends, or like tomorrow morning go for breakfast with my parents without worrying about my suitcases.
Yes.
Then when it's like nighttime, I can sit around and like pack my things. So even if it's a little bit sacrificial, like maybe I wouldn't go to bed around the same time. Like in Canada, I had a rhythm and it was like go, go, go. Like at this time, I have to do my power hour. At this time, I have to wrap up, and like,
Yeah.
so it was very like structured for a reason, because I run a family, I'm a career woman, and I
Yeah.
also do my passion project. So of course, the structure was needed. But since I've been here, I've decided to let it go and just be. And it's
Mm.
so beautiful. I don't have any like hyper stimulation or like engaging with my phone all the time. Like I feel, I feel full. Like I feel like I'm living in
Oh,
alignment. And this year my phrase has been living fully every day. So I feel like I'm doing that. I'm living that, and I'll take, you know, I'll take it as it comes. I'll enjoy all the moments that are irreplaceable, and then the suitcases will be what they will be when they will be. But yeah, and I thank you so much, Kim, for taking the time. It's not ideal. I mean, it's not whatever. It is what it is. Like I'm sitting at the balcony, the
I
internet
love it. I
connection.
love it.
You are very patient and very kind. So kindness for success is also being experienced in action right now. And I really appreciate that, you know, we're very flexible and adaptable, and you took the time, and this is real. So what I normally talk about, like when I'm online on LinkedIn and talking about pivoting and trying to be aligned and all of that, is not just like a professional thing or a
No.
buzzword. It's really how I lead my life. And I
Yeah.
would invite anybody who is maybe navigating a difficult moment or going through something or feeling overwhelmed to choose something small that they can be in control of and take action. Because I think that when there's like uncertainty and you're going through a lot of things, when you just dwell in overwhelm, it just extends it and it becomes
Mm,
so
mm,
big that it's not
mm,
manageable. If you're able to just even remove yourself from the circumstances and find one thing that you are in control of that you can do, that
mm,
would be my advice. And
mm,
really, to close the session, I will say, like for me, one thing that worked when I realized that, okay, this is happening, I have to leave, and the circumstances are not clear, I decided to run. Every day I was running. I just like, I even wrote it down. I was like, I'm going to be running for mom. So every day, like I come back from work, I just put on my running shoes,
mm.
I go
Just
outside
go.
and just run, you know, even if it's like 10, 15 minutes. And then I come home, I feel a little bit more calm. So
Mm, mm,
find your one little thing that you
mm,
can control within the circumstances and just show up for it, because it's going to remind you of what you can do
mm.
instead of dwelling on what you cannot do, because
Yes.
the overwhelm can be just so stressful
Yes.
and unmanageable. But when you choose to take one tiny action and just do it and show up, no matter how you feel,
Yeah.
you're gonna come back at the other side, and you're going to be so grateful you did it. So thank you, Kim, and thank you
Thank
to
you.
everyone who is watching this. I think this is as raw as it gets.
And and that's what makes it so unique and special. So again, thank you so much, for sharing in this really special, precious time with us. So enjoy the rest of your time. And enjoy as well the reunion with your family when you get back to Canada. And we will speak again soon, and we'll be back with episode 4. So great to see all of you again. And if you've gone through any pivots yourself recently, small or large, we would love to hear. So so do get in touch. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.